Hello everyone, this is Anson from AnsonAlex.com and welcome to what is really part 6 of my 2013 video series on using Google Drive. I published the first 4 videos in the series around New Year's, and then I added a 5th video earlier this week on the advanced sharing settings in Google Drive. So check out those videos if you haven't yet. I'll link them in the description of this video here on YouTube. But in this video, in part 6, we're going to talk about the third-party applications available for Google Drive. It's a new feature this year, and it's really awesome. It opens up Google Drive to a whole bunch of different opportunities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move over here to my Google Drive account. And this is a test account, so I don't have that much information in here yet. But where these third-party applications are available is from the Create menu. So if I go over here to the left side of my screen and I click on Create, you'll notice that at the bottom we have this link that hasn't always been here in Google Drive. It has been for quite a while now here in 2013, but back in 2012 we didn't have this. And it's the Connect More Apps link. So that means that we can find different applications that can create documents for us beyond just the default ones that Google gives us, like documents, presentations, spreadsheets. So if we click on Connect More Apps, we get a list of all these other apps that other companies, third-party companies, are creating and linking and integrating with Google Drive, and there's some really cool ones in here. Obviously, which ones are most beneficial for you is going to depend on your particular situation, but if you just scroll through here, I'm just going to kind of mention a few of them as we go. AutoCAD 360, I don't do much CAD drawing and design, that sort of thing, but if you are the type of person that does, if you do that for your work, there's now an AutoCAD program that fits in with Google Drive. I'm not sure how good it is, but I'm sure that it's just going to keep improving, and the idea of being able to use a CAD program that's browser-based is just incredible to me. So that's kind of a cool thing that I noticed going through here. This Lucidchart, I also wanted to check this out. It says that it works very well for drawing flowcharts, mock-ups, UML, system diagrams, that sort of thing. So that's one that I've signed up for, and I plan on trying a little bit more in-depth here in the next up-and-coming weeks. This one is the one that I'm probably most excited about personally, and that is Smartsheet Project, because one of my favorite Microsoft Office tools has always been Microsoft Project. And I'm pretty much a Google Drive guy these days in terms of my document composition for regular documents, spreadsheets, even presentations, although I do use Keynote and PowerPoint once in a while for presentations. When it comes to coming up with project diagrams and Gantt charts, there's no Google equivalent. There hasn't been. So you've always had to revert back to Microsoft Project. You've got to deal with a local program. Well, now we've got Smartsheet Project, which links right in here with Google Drive. So I'm actually going to go back towards the end of this video, and we're going to connect to Smartsheet Project to see kind of how that process goes. But I do want to just go down this list and kind of mention a couple of the other applications that are available, because you might see a few more. And obviously, it would be great for you to go through this list on your own time as well, so you can really dig in and see if you can find something that would be beneficial for you or your organization. You see up here, there is another Gantt chart as well. Might check that out, although I have heard of Smartsheet before, so I want to check that one out first. They've got a faxing app here that you could use. There's a whole bunch of them. As we scroll through, we've got a translator. I don't even know what this Googleator is. A Game Boy emulator that runs inside of Google Chrome. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. If we sign down, some of you may be familiar with DocuSign. That allows you to get electronic signatures on contracts and that sort of thing. It's huge right now because people are trying to move away from that faxing contract process, and DocuSign is how you can do that. So you can go ahead and create your contracts, your documents in Google Drive that need to be signed, hook it up with DocuSign, and then you don't have to print out contracts anymore for either yourself or your clients, vendors. So that's an awesome application in here. Just going down, some of you might use Full Contact as a contact management system. You can connect that here with Google Drive. There's one specifically that I wanted to mention, and it's towards the bottom here. You can just see how many different applications there already are for Google Drive. Here's another Gantt chart. This one is also by Smartsheet, so might be some differences between their two products there. There's a whole bunch of these PDF applications, so you can link up your PDFs and edit them here in Google Drive. Where is this last one I wanted to talk about? There's even some audio apps that you can add for Google Drive. Okay, so I skipped ahead a little bit here so I could find the app I was looking for. It's this QR code and barcode label generator that says you can generate QR codes, barcodes, right from your own data, which means like a list of products or whatever in a Google spreadsheet. So that was one that I thought was cool. I'm obviously not in production manufacturing. I don't really have any physical products, so I don't know if I would be able to use it, but I thought, it has 4 stars with 13 ratings. I thought it might be useful to some of my viewers out there. So you can just see how many different applications are on here. Let's go back up and let's go ahead and install that Smartsheet app. And now I'm going to have to find that one. Here we go. I'm going to do the Simple Project Management, the Smartsheet Project app. So I'm just going to click Connect, and let's see what this process is like. I've done this on a different account already, but I do want to take you all through it here on YouTube. So it's saying, do I want to make Smartsheet the default app for files that can open? Sure. Those would be project files. I don't have any other app that would do that. So I went ahead and I added it, and you'll see that I got this message up here that's saying that Smartsheet was added. So now when I click on Create, I've got all of my default Google documents that I can create, but then I can also create a Smartsheet, and watch how cool this is. When I click to create a Smartsheet, it opens up a new tab, just like when I would create a normal Google document. I have to accept these permissions here the first time that I'm using this, and we'll accept both of those. So it's asking my email, first name, last name. That sounds good. So that initial time that you use Smartsheet, you are going to have to sign up, create an account with Smartsheet, as you can see how I kind of just did right here. It will just call this new sheet test sheet. It takes me right over. I'm actually now at smartsheet.com. So this isn't on Google's servers, but when I save this document, we can save it to Google Drive and then access it through there. So they're linked together, they're integrated. So we'll just say, I don't want to do a blank sheet. I want to see a project sheet because I want to see kind of an example of what this looks like. I'm going to go ahead and hit Create, and you'll notice that if you do use Microsoft Project, it does look somewhat similar. This is where we can add all of our different tasks for a project, and I know there's actually a template in here, so let me try and find a template because I'm not going to create an entire project here in just a couple minutes on YouTube. I'm not that good with project management apps, so let's use this template. I'm just going to go ahead and open it up so you can see this is a basic project with dependencies. So you can see that this is how it works. We've got section 1, which is going to take a couple months here, about a couple weeks here. You can see it's that section at a time, and each of these subtasks is associated with section 1. We cannot start on section 2 until at least the first 2 subsections of section 1 have been completed. And so we can plan out our whole project, and then we've got the list view over here to the left. We can add dependencies. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do here in Smartsheet. I don't even know the half of it, but I do love these project management software, so I'm so happy that we can now integrate it with Google Drive. At first, I couldn't see this document in my Google Drive, but I realized that it just takes a couple minutes for it to save specifically in my Google Drive. So I'm not sure if this particular sheet has saved yet, but this test sheet has. It's blank, obviously, but if I click back to Google Drive, you'll notice that in my drive, I now have this test sheet document listed here. And when I click on it, it opens right up in Smartsheet. So now I've got all of these project management documents that I create will be listed here in my Google Drive. I can organize them just like any other document by moving them to folders. I can create all sorts of new types of documents with these third-party add-ons down here. When you click on Create and go to Connect More Apps, you've got all of these different options. I'm sure that each and every one of you can find at least one app in here that's going to be useful for you or your organization, and I'm sure that the apps are just going to keep coming because Google has become such a popular platform. So many organizations are moving to it and using it that these other companies have a lot to gain by being associated with Google Drive and integrated with Google Drive. And it just makes for a more seamless experience for everybody. So check out these apps. Let me know in the comments section below what your favorite ones are. Maybe you've already started using these and you've got some really good insight for the rest of my viewers. So definitely give me some feedback. Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up here on YouTube. And if you want to see more technology tips and tutorials, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. That's all I've got for you for today. It's Anson from AnsonAlex.com.